You will fail all of your New Year's resolutions if you don't do this one thing. But before we get into it, let me introduce myself. My name is Lorraine. I'm known as Lorrankydank in a few places on the internet. And I'm a girl who historically is a stand-up comedian and comedy writer. And what I found about me is that I'm perpetually distracted and unfocused. I need accountability partners. I need writing groups. I need as much pressure on me as possible, or I don't know if anything is going to happen ever. So I'm a little bit obsessed at this point with building systems that I believe work. Something that I invented, and just by watching this video, you're actually a part of it already. It's called Lorrankydank Accountability. I reached out to a whole bunch of people and I said, hey, do you ever find yourself in this position where you really need an accountability partner? And some people said yes. And I said, well, listen, how would you feel? Would you like me to match you up with an accountability partner? And a bunch of people said yes. And so I created these things. They're called the Lorrankydank accountability teams. It's now this online, offline community of people that check in with each other, and we're going. Like, each individual person has their own goal, project, lifestyle habit that they'd like to take on, or bad lifestyle habit that they'd like to drop and leave behind because it no longer serves them. And we root for each other. But you didn't click on this video for all that. You didn't. You want to hear about how you can rise to the elite class of goal setters that actually accomplish shit in 2025. It's still goal setting season if you haven't heard. Last week, everyone was partying and making big declarations about what is going to happen in this year for them. What are they going to commit themselves to? Blah, 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 blah. Now it's real. It's time to get real. Okay? And this is the number one tip. And it's very basic. It's very simple. And I bet you already know it, but you're going to hear it again from me. You need to write your goals down. Write them on paper. That's ideal, okay? I don't even care what kind of paper. I don't care what kind of writing utensil. Get a ballpoint pen and the back of an envelope. Rip off a piece of cardboard from a Cheez-Its box and grab yourself a Sharpie. I don't care if you use a quill feather pen from the olden times and a roll of parchment. It doesn't matter. The goals need to be written down. Some people are going to hear that and they're not going to write their goals down. They're not. They're going to keep having their goals tumble in their head with their grocery store lists and all of their intrusive thoughts of all the things that their bullies said to them in middle school. They're going to be thinking about thank you cards that they owe people. The goals are just going to be commingled in there with all this other stuff, and they're going to get lost in there. They are. They just are. I'm speaking from experience. The next thing I'm going to say, journaling. It's journaling. Journaling is the answer to accomplishing your goals. Journaling makes all the difference. Journaling can mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but if you're not doing it at all, like no notebook, no journal, no nothing, and it's just scribble scrabble on the back of some trash, I mean, good luck. I just wonder how far you'll get. If that's you, by the way, if you set goals in the past and you didn't write them down, or you only scribbled them on the back of like an envelope or something, please comment below. I want to hear your story. We're going to take a break from that, and I'm going to offer to you a fun little pop culture anecdote. Do you remember from The Real Housewives of New York when Ramona Singer wouldn't stop coming for Bethany Frankel because Bethany appeared in an erotic independent film or something? And it was bizarre and it was annoying. And she kept listing all the things that Bethany did in the film. That was like, she was an actor and she was simulating sexual acts. And she's mentioning all these things. And Bethany just yells at her, mention it. Mention it all.
Mention it all. Mention it all. Because you know what?
I love that moment so much. Because what Bethany is saying is, you doing this has no power over me. Mention it. Mention it all. I don't care. I don't have shame for the things that I've done. Now, whether Bethany actually feels regret for what she put on camera for that project, I don't know. I couldn't say. Only she knows. And if she's very proud of herself for putting herself on camera in that way, only Bethany knows that too. But the thing that I get from mention it all is that Bethany knows herself. Okay? Okay. This is important. Now, I'm going to offer 2 little anecdotes about myself. One is an unpopular thing that I have done in my past that I truly regret. I was at a party in LA and some people were talking about a shoot that they were on. And I guess the weather was cold and one of the actresses, she needed to be like in a hot tub or something for a scene. And she requested special accommodations from production because she is allergic to cold weather. In response to that, I laughed very loudly and I said to the party, okay, I'm sure that such an allergy could exist, but can we all agree that this is the most diva LA bullshit any of us have ever heard? And no one agreed with me. I've since looked up this allergy and it's legit. 0.05% of the population is allergic to cold weather. Histamine is released into their blood. They break out in hives, and this awful itchy reaction can linger for up to 6 months. So, okay, color me embarrassed. I was insensitive to the cold weather allergy, but it did sound from the story, it sounded to me like someone asking for special treatment on set, which is annoying. And that allergy just sounds like something that wouldn't exist outside of Hollywood. All of that is just to say, I regret how I reacted to that story. I regret what I said at that party, and I wouldn't say such a thing in mixed company ever again. Now, here is an example of an unpopular thing that I did that I do stand behind. I don't regret it. In 2006, a man named Andy Barth ran for Congress in the 3rd Congressional District of Maryland. I was an eligible voter, and I voted for him. I did not vote for him because I knew anything about his policies. I really didn't even know much about him as a person. But he had a really fun campaign jingle. It excited me, and I voted for him because of it. And the jingle went a little something like this. We spoke, and Andy listened. Now he wants to be our voice. Andy Barth for Congress, Maryland's common sense choice. He didn't win. And you know what? No one got hurt. So a lot of people might judge me for using my vote in this frivolous way. But at the end of the day, it is my vote and I can do what I want with it. And that's what I chose to do. And I don't regret it. I bet that after hearing these 2 anecdotes about me, you have an idea of what kind of person I am. You have a feeling, you have a sense of what you can expect from me and my behavior, right? Right. Can you do that for you? Can you do that for yourself? Can you really deeply know yourself? Get to know yourself. Get a journal. Go to the notebook aisle at Target and pick a journal, or go to a local spot. There is a place that I love in Chinatown in Los Angeles. It's called PaperPlant Co, and they are a stationery store / coffee shop. Find a cute little local spot like that. Treat yourself to a coffee, treat yourself to a notebook, have yourself a little date. Write down your goal in that notebook. Journal for like 3 pages about that goal. Where did this goal come from? Why are you setting it? Why do you want what you want? How do you feel about this goal? Do you think you can do it? Do you think you can't do it? Who is it in your life that you blame? That you want to blame them for holding you back from never having accomplished this goal in the past? Something, get deep, get dirty with it. Mention it all. In fact, I came up with a little list of like non-negotiables of what I think you ought to write down on those pages to really help yourself get into it, immerse yourself into this goal that you're setting. Write down your goals. I think you should also write down your first thought reason for why you're aiming at whatever you're aiming at. I think you should also write down what succeeding or not succeeding actually looks like. Is it quantifiable? Is there some kind of tangible output or outcome? How would your life be noticeably different if you succeeded or didn't succeed? Then write down what succeeding or not succeeding at these goals would mean about you as a person. Write down a specific time by which these goals need to be met. Now, I want to get a little detailed. What does succeeding or not succeeding look like? How would your life be noticeably different if you succeeded or didn't succeed? This is really important. Now, I'll give you an example. When I was in high school, I was on the varsity soccer team. But if I wanted to be on the starting squad of the varsity soccer team, then I had to run a mile that was 8 minutes or less. So I spent every summer training so hard to make sure that I could break 8. I needed to run that mile, get it under 8 minutes, or else I wasn't going to be allowed to start. It was brutal. It didn't seem fair, but that was it. So if I met the goal, it meant I might start. If I didn't meet the goal, it meant I'm on the bench. Simple as that. Is there a thing like that for your goal, for your thing that you're trying to accomplish this year? How would your life be different if you succeeded or if you didn't succeed? Okay, and what does succeeding or not succeeding mean for you as a person? This is kind of intense, but it doesn't have to, don't go too crazy. Just first thought, like, what does it feel like? Like, for example, I don't know, maybe your goal is to read 5 more books this year than you did last year. Maybe that would mean that you're a smart person. Maybe it would mean you're truly an intellectual, like something like that. Who are you as a person if you succeed or fail? I think writing that down is very helpful. Write down. Sorry, I'm getting a text message that's really funny to me. Write down a specific date, time, something, some moment on the calendar, on your schedule for when this goal needs to be met. You need that deadline. It doesn't even have to be real. Just make it up. Almost all of my deadlines are self-imposed and completely fictional. I just completely make them up because I need a goalpost to aim for. I have to keep going. If I don't have a deadline, I'm not doing shit. I'm not doing shit. If I don't have a deadline, I'm taking a nap. I am starting The Sopranos over again and watching it all. I am making nachos. I'm not doing anything hard if there isn't an actual deadline. So I got to give one to myself, and I have to write it down, and I have to tell people what it is. God, I hate doing it, but I want to accomplish my goals. By now you've probably realized, yeah, this is a lot. this is probably too much to scribble on the back of a piece of trash. I should take my ass to Target and get a notebook. I should go to PaperPlant Co. and get myself a notebook. I should write this stuff down. I should get a Muji pen and treat myself and write down these things. I agree with you. Do it. Start journaling. Whatever time of day. People get obsessed with morning pages. I do not care. Whatever time of day makes the most sense for you. Write it down. My vote is like 3 full pages in your little notebook. Just like write down your thoughts and feelings. Do that once a week. You should really do it every day. But if you do it at least once a week, it gives you a minute to check in with your goals, and it can be a beautiful thing. If your goal is to get 25 minutes of cardio in per day and you skip a day, don't write down in your log that you did it. Don't lie. Or like, if you're like, yeah, I'm going to wake up every morning at 6 a.m. and I'm going to get my workout in. But you know damn well that you're not a morning person. You're an evening person. Your muscles, they don't work no good before 10 a.m. Why would you? Don't lie. Don't lie. Tell the truth. Write it down. Mention it all. You're only hurting yourself if you're lying to yourself. It's going to catch up to you. You're going to get discouraged. Your accountability partners are going to feel really awkward about it. Just come with it. Come with the truth. And we're going to do it together. And it's going to be so good. And it's going to be so beautiful. And we're going to have such a good time. And we're going to root for each other. And then when we fail, because we'll still inevitably fail throughout the year, and we can tweak our process. We can build new strategies together as friends and keep marching toward the beautiful sunny horizon as a team. If this is something that you feel like you'd benefit from, please let me know. Feel free to reach out in all the different ways. DM, email, comment. I don't know. I'm new at this. I'm new in this space. Help me help you. I also have a Substack that you can follow where I talk about these themes often. I will link that below. Another way that we can hang out if you ever want to, Saturday mornings, every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time, I go on Instagram live. We have a little program called Quiet and Focused with Lorrankydank, and we do 2 Pomodoros. That's 25 minutes of deep focused work on whatever it is that you want. You just bring it and you do it. And we have 5 chat breaks built in. I'm sorry. This is editing, Lorraine. I said 5 chat breaks. I meant 2 5-minute chat breaks. Whatever. Just for a little bit of friendly time, just a little bit of levity. So that's another way that you can hang out and help yourself accomplish things this year. Okay.